And she said, yeah, well, you're not depressed. You've never experienced depression, so how would you know? And I'm just sitting here and I was like, yo, I just came back from my stay in a psychiatric hospital. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So when it comes to faking mental illness, that is something that has been in my life for a while. Not only have I been the one accused of, but I was the accuser. Now that's a bit of a weird way to start off a video, but let me get into the details. So, a lot of the time people, when they're younger, they fake mental illness because they do not know the repercussions of the choices that they make, and they don't entirely understand who they are as a person. So they throw in this aspect of mental illness as a sort of curve, as a sort of way for them to make up for their lack of character. That is something that kids do. I've never met an actual adult who does that, and that is something that kids do. Not only have I accused people of faking mental illness when I was younger, but I have also been the one accused of faking mental illness. Now let me get into the details. So, I used to have this friend. I don't really talk to him anymore. We were friends throughout all of elementary school, all of middle school, all of high school, but we kind of went our separate ways once we got into college. When we were younger, he would often talk about how he was depressed. And this is 5th grade, 6th grade around. Now, take into consideration, that is when my psychosis first set in. So I had these grandiose ideas of I created a perfect cell that was completely indestructible and would cure all diseases, which is a delusion. A delusion, a belief that is not based in reality or held in reality. That was a symptom of my psychosis. Also, hallucinations were becoming more and more apparent, but regardless, I was having a rough time with my mental health. And this friend, let's call him Watch. Watch was a introverted kid. He's a video gamer. He was not popular. We would often talk about YouTube and Minecraft and stuff like that. He was a chill person. He still is pretty chill, but there was just this person in his life. So there was this person, his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was, let's just say, not exactly mentally stable. She was depressed, and the way that she used to cope with it is by cutting herself. And that is a big reason why I started to doubt Watch when he said he was depressed. Is because, well, you saw your girlfriend, she was actually depressed, and are you just doing this to copy her? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that he was just doing this to copy her. So I doubted him. And that doubt continued throughout all of middle school, all of elementary school, all of middle school. And I remember we were sitting on the bus together in high school, and I was talking to him, and I was like, do you actually think you're depressed? And he's like, I just feel sad sometimes. I just feel like the world is ending. And it was a tough conversation. Me, Watch, and another one of our friends were talking about this. And that really hit home for me because it was something that I was familiar with when it came to mental health. Because like I said, I was undergoing psychosis in 5th and 6th grade, or more like 6th grade, kind of seeping into 5th grade, but more 6th grade. And in this whole endeavor of mental illness, I've sort of gotten the doubtful mindset when people talk about their struggles with mental illness. My first immediate reaction is to go to doubt, because a lot of the time people fake their mental illness just for clout or just for attention. And I've been hospitalized in mental hospitals, and the people who actually are suffering from severe depression don't act like the people who say they are depressed or anxious. That's not to say that people aren't. I'm just saying that sometimes it's very obvious that the person is not feeling depressed and is just giving into a idea that they're depressed for attention. Like that TikTok where that little girl who's probably too young to have a phone, she was talking about, oh, everything I own is black and therefore I am depressed. My shirt is white, but I'm still clinically diagnosed with depression. My room is somewhat messy, but I'm still clinically diagnosed as OCD. I may seem like I am not actively being pursued by thoughts of paranoia, but guess what? I've been diagnosed with delusional psychosis, delusional schizophrenia. So that is something that we all need to learn. I've experienced people who were suffering from severe depression, and the way they act compared to those girls who say, "Oh, I'm depressed and have anxiety because I need my coffee a certain way." You know, people like that just, I don't know, just rubs me the wrong way. That's what she said. This kind of continued into high school. I remember I was sitting next to this girl. Let's call her Glasses. We got into an argument. We sat next to each other in our photography class. Was it photography? No, in our yearbook class. And we were talking about mental health, and then I was like, happiness to an extent can be considered a choice. And we got into a whole battle with that, because you can't force yourself to be happy, but you can do things that will lead you to be happy. And there's nothing wrong in pursuing what will lead to happiness as in opposed to what will lead to sadness. And it's not necessarily you choosing happiness, it's you choosing things that can lead to happiness. And that was what I was trying to tell her, and she was not having any of it. And she said, "Yeah, well, you're not depressed, you've never experienced depression, so how would you know?" And I'm just sitting here and I was like, yo, I just came back from my stay in a psychiatric hospital, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I didn't actually say that, but I would have. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, that's a bit of a conflict that I came into as of recently. But now college, couple semesters in, and I don't give a shit about any of my classmates. So that's that. Anyway, I've been rambling on for long enough. So if you are in an emergency, you need to talk to someone, I have emergency links down below. If you want to DM me, talk to me, I have my Instagram and Twitter down below. And I guess I'll see you next time. Mahui ho, malamo pono.